Hey there, Libra. How are you doing today? I'm so happy you're joining me for your comprehensive tarot reading, relevant for the first half of May 2025. I've cleared the energy in this space and meditated on your cards, connecting to the vibrations that resonate with your Libra spirit. Let's kick off by unlocking the affirmation that's whispering to you most clearly now. I am in control of my thoughts and actions. This phrase has selected you, so say it with me, either in a whisper or with confidence, and let its peaceful energy envelop you. I am in control of my thoughts and actions. I am in control of my thoughts and actions. Now, let's begin your reading by drawing the 3 key tarot cards that will guide you through these 2 weeks. We have Knight of Cups, Ace of Cups, and 4 of Pentacles. Accompanying these is the oracle card Koi Carp from the Spirit Animal Wisdom deck. As for your tea leaf fortune card, it is Heart. The Knight of Cups rides in on a white horse, carrying a goblet full of inspiration, romance, and heartfelt offers. For you Libras, this could be someone bringing a thoughtful message or invitation your way. It could even be your own voice nudging you to follow a creative urge or to express affection. Sometimes this night shows up when there's an opportunity to see love in everyday moments, like a spontaneous invitation for coffee with someone you really enjoy, or a text that says they've been thinking about you. It can feel like life offering you a bouquet of possibilities. Pick one and see what blossoms. Think of a time when you got an unexpected but welcome call or message. It felt like the universe had pressed send just for you. That's the Knight of Cups energy. On the flip side, this card can sometimes hint at rushing in without checking all the details, like texting someone too quickly or promising more than you can deliver. So let me ask, have you felt that flutter of excitement lately? Maybe you've been tempted to send a flirty text but held back. What if you trusted that impulse but paired it with a little thoughtfulness first? And remember, the Knight and the Ace can also point to opportunities beyond romance. You might find a mentor reaching out to guide your next step. Or you could stumble upon a journal prompt that unlocks a flurry of insights. For Libras who love bringing people together, maybe this is the moment to host a small gathering that stirs up heartfelt conversations. Or it's a chance to treat yourself to something that fills your cup, literally. How could you extend this water energy into your daily routine? Could a morning tea ritual or a sunset walk help you tune into what your heart is asking? Then comes the Ace of Cups, the very tip of a cup overflowing with pure emotion. A fresh start, dripping with possibility. Picture that first sunrise after a long winter, or that feeling the first time you taste ice cream on a hot day. In Libra season, this can translate into a chance to renew relationships or to start caring for yourself in a gentle, loving way. It's like an invitation to open a new journal entry where you write about what really lights you up, or to let someone in on how much they've meant to you. This ace can show up as a creative spark too, maybe inspiring you to write, paint, or just rearrange your space to feel more like you. It reminds us that every new feeling needs room to grow. Have you noticed something inside you yearning to be expressed? A long-forgotten hobby or a fresh idea at work? Think about that and ask yourself, what would happen if you gave yourself permission to pour your heart into it? The 4 of Pentacles often speaks of holding on tight, maybe too tight, to what we have. Libras, you love balance, but here you could be teetering on the edge of squeezing out beauty because you're afraid of losing security. This might show up as reluctance to spend money on something that feeds your soul, or hanging onto a relationship even if it's lost its spark just because it feels safe. It can also point to setting firm boundaries and protecting your resources in a healthy way. Imagine clutching a handful of shiny coins, unwilling to open your palm to see if you can let some go and still have enough. That's the 4 of Pentacles whispering caution. But what if a small risk, like treating yourself to that workshop or having that honest conversation, could actually boost your sense of security in the long run? Take a moment. What are you holding on to out of fear? Could you let just a little go and see what happens? Looking at those 3 tarot cards together, I see a dance between the heart's impulse to dive in and the mind's worry about staying safe. The Knight of Cups urges you to respond to opportunities with warmth, the Ace of Cups invites you to let a fresh emotion blossom, and the Four of Pentacles reminds you to notice where fear of loss might be clamping down. As a Libra, you're already a natural mediator, so ask yourself, how can you create harmony between your desire to open up and your need to feel stable? You might find that when you loosen your grip just a bit, there's room for more beauty to flow in. Picture saying yes to a creative collaboration after budgeting time wisely, or sharing a genuine compliment without worrying you'll owe something big in return. It's about stepping into that middle path, opening your heart just enough to taste the sweetness, but keeping your footing so you don't feel swept away. What might this look like in your world right now? Could you take one small step toward balance? I hope you're finding this reading meaningful. Let me know with a like and subscribe to the channel. Now let's bring in the Koi Carp Oracle card, all about moving with the flow of abundance that's around and through you. Libras crave beauty and harmony, and the Koi Carp loves grace in motion. It's saying take a moment to reflect, maybe even sit by water or imagine a gentle pond, and let your thoughts drift. This isn't about pushing or pulling, it's about floating and noticing where the current wants to take you. Sometimes it takes slowing down and seeing what's already there to invite more blessings in. This could look like spending a quiet morning journaling by a window, doing a short guided meditation, or simply walking near a stream or fountain and paying attention to how you feel. The Koi Carp encourages you to acknowledge anything that's blocking your sense of flow, maybe a belief that you don't deserve more, or a hidden worry you haven't named. What might come to mind if you gave yourself permission to just sit and watch your thoughts drift? Lastly, there's the Heart Tea Leaf card, telling us that love and deep affection are coursing through the first half of May. This might be someone feeling a warm, caring vibe toward you, or you discovering a new wellspring of self-love. For a Libra, this is extra sweet, since you're all about sharing beauty and affection in relationships. It could come through as a friend sending you flowers, a partner surprising you with a note, or you finally looking in the mirror and saying, I love you. The Heart Tea Leaf card can also suggest deep love for a passion project or community cause. Maybe you're about to pour your energy into volunteering or rallying a friend group for a charitable event. It's that kind of warmth you feel when you and your people are in sync, all working towards something that makes your heart swell. As a Libra, you're in your element, creating connections and fairness, so what if this spring you channeled that into a collective effort? Who in your life might you invite to join you in a shared act of kindness or creativity? Think back to the last time someone showed up with a small act of kindness. Maybe a coworker brought you coffee, or an old friend checked in just because. That's the heart card energy, inviting you to both receive and give those gestures. Are you open to noticing these moments? And could you create one of your own, like a handwritten note or a thoughtful text, to spread a little of that warmth around? Putting it all together, Libra, there's a beautiful story here. The Knight and Ace of Cups give you every reason to open up to fresh emotions, creative calls, and heartfelt invitations. The Four of Pentacles urges you to check where fear might be holding you back. The Koi Carp Oracle teaches you that true abundance comes when you flow, reflect, and release old blocks. And the Heart Tea Leaf card reminds you that love in its many forms is right at your fingertips. In practical terms, maybe that means saying yes to a new project, but taking 10 minutes of quiet each day to center yourself. Maybe it means opening your heart to someone new while honoring your own comfort zone. Or maybe it means noticing that feeling of abundance bubbling up when you help a friend, and letting that remind you that there's enough for everyone. Can you picture weaving these energies together in your own life? Over the next couple weeks, watch for gentle nudges, little signs pointing you toward more openness. Stay mindful of moments when you tense up, and ask yourself if that tension is protecting you or keeping you stuck. As a Libra, you naturally seek balance, so it's about spotting the seesaw, noticing which side is down, and gently shifting it until you find that sweet spot where heart and mind feel at ease together. Try this simple exercise. Each morning, take a sip of water and imagine it washing away any doubt, then hold an intention to welcome in something beautiful. And each evening, jot down one moment where you felt love or abundance. Over time, you'll see patterns, maybe a breakthrough, and you'll know exactly where to lean in or where to rest. What if unlocking abundance was as simple as pressing play? The Money Wave is designed to reprogram your mind for wealth. Don't miss out. Check the link in the description. Now, let's turn our attention to the central theme of love and relationships. Your true love oracle card is maturity, and the tarot card is judgment. Judgment in a love context feels like waking up to a nudge from within that says, it's time to take stock. Maybe you've been on autopilot with someone, going through the motions without really asking if it still feels right. This card can show up as a moment when you hear your own voice saying, do I want to keep going down this path? It might come as a flash of insight during a quiet walk, or in the middle of a conversation where you suddenly realize you're replaying the same old arguments. For Libras who prize fairness, this is your cue to give both your head and your heart a chance to weigh in. Have you noticed yourself wondering if things could be better than just okay? What truths have you been putting off admitting, even to yourself? That call to review isn't about blame, it's about awakening. You might find yourself forgiving a partner for something small that's been simmering under the surface, or forgiving yourself for letting old wounds shape how you show up. Picture a moment when someone you used to date pops into your mind and you realize you're still carrying their story. Judgment says, release that. It's like standing in a chapel of your own making, with beams of light showing you where growth can happen. What patterns keep looping in your connections? Is there someone you'd love to see from a new perspective once you lay old judgments down? For Libra, harmony is everything, but harmony sometimes means rocking the boat just enough to straighten the mast. Maybe you've held back voicing a need because you didn't want to rock the relationship. Judgment invites you to speak your truth with kindness. Imagine the relief of finally saying, I need more space, or I crave deeper conversation, and hearing the other person respond with respect. You don't have to shout. You just have to show up as your full self. Ask yourself, what would change if you used your voice instead of staying silent? Then we have maturity stepping in to remind you that real love is built on two people who own their own happiness. It's tempting to think that your partner's affection or approval is what makes you feel secure, but true emotional maturity knows better. You're responsible for filling your own cup. That might look like having a morning ritual that centers you before you lean on someone else, or writing in your journal when you feel unsettled instead of shooting off an anxious text. Think about a time when you felt calm because you trusted yourself to handle what came up. How did that shift your energy? Maturity also asks you to notice when you slip into blaming someone else for a bad mood or a sense of insecurity. Maybe on rough days you expect your partner to fix you, and when they can't, resentment creeps in. This card says, step back and ask, how can I love myself through this? Even a small act, reaching out to a friend, lighting a candle, and doing 3 deep breaths, can remind you that you are your own safe harbor. Where in your relationship have you been outsourcing your joy or placing too much pressure on the other person to make you happy? Putting judgment and maturity together with your general energies gives us a powerful theme for love in early May. You've been invited by those cups to open up, to taste new possibilities, to let love flow, but you've also been clenching a bit out of fear or habit. Now you're being called to look honestly at what's working and what isn't, then take responsibility for your own growth. Love blossoms when both people are fully conscious, and you're stepping into that consciousness now. What old stories might you need to release so the new ones can begin? Here's a little practical spark to try. Carve out 10 minutes each day to sit quietly and ask yourself, where am I giving away my power? Jot down the first thing that comes up. No judgment, just curiosity. Then write a follow-up about how you can keep that power close to your heart instead of tossing it to someone else. This exercise mirrors the koi carp's flowing pond. You observe what's there without resisting the current, and then you choose to swim with intention. Also, think about having a heart-to-heart conversation with your partner or a close friend. You don't need perfect timing or a fancy setting. Just pick a moment when you both feel relaxed. Share one thing you've noticed about yourself lately, whether it's a fear or a hope. Notice how it feels to speak honestly, and notice how it feels to be heard. That small opening can become the gateway to a deeper bond or the farewell you need to heal. Libra, your gift is finding balance, and this reading is about balancing self-awareness with openness. Judgment gives you the mirror to see where change is ready to happen, and maturity hands you the courage to own that change. You're not just waiting for love to knock, you're tuning your own doorbell so it rings exactly when you're ready. Over the next 2 weeks, I invite you to notice the invitations, internal and external, and respond with a heart that's both wide open and confidently held. And now, the cards are ready to reveal insights about your career and education. Your Dreamweaver's Oracle card is When the Storm Spirits Play, and the Tarot card is Queen of Cups. When the Queen of Cups shows up in your career or education, she's like a compassionate mentor or the friend who truly listens. In a job setting, she might be the colleague who always sees what you need before you say a word, quietly offering support when a deadline feels overwhelming. In school or training, she represents that inner voice, guiding you through complex material with empathy and insight. This queen reminds you that intuition and emotional intelligence are real assets. Have you ever noticed how you or someone else read the room perfectly during a tense meeting, softening the mood with a thoughtful question? Or maybe you sat with a challenging essay topic until a clear idea emerged, like a ripple in a calm pond. Where in your work or study life have you felt this gentle knowing? How could trusting that intuitive voice lead you forward? But the Queen of Cups also asks you to guard your boundaries so that your own cup doesn't run dry. It's wonderful to support others, but if you're carrying everyone else's stress home, you may wake up drained. Think about group projects where you found yourself smoothing conflicts at your own expense, or times you volunteered for extra responsibility so you'd feel needed. Are you using your empathic gifts or unconsciously overextending to feel secure? The Four of Pentacles whispered earlier about holding on too tightly out of fear. Now ask yourself, what am I holding on to because I worry about my position, my grades, or my standing? Could setting a clear limit free energy for the work or study you truly care about? Finding that balance between giving support and protecting your own emotional reserves is key for Libra's harmony. Then the Oracle card, When the Storm Spirits Play, sweeps in with a reminder that the turbulence you're experiencing at work or school is shaking loose the old to make space for fresh possibilities. Maybe there's a reorganization that's left roles unclear, or a curriculum shift that's throwing your study schedule off. At first, chaos can feel unsettling, like trying to unpick a knot you don't quite understand. Yet this card is asking you to stay in the heart of the storm, watching how the winds blow before you decide which direction you'll take. It's in that moment after the storm clears that you see how much lighter the branches feel, how the air sparkles, and how seeds can take root in the new soil. What fresh insights are swirling around you now? Which new connections or ideas could bloom if you let the upheaval be a creative force? Putting these together with our earlier themes, Libra, you're being invited to mix compassion and intuition with the willingness to let go of control. The Knight and Ace urged you to open emotional channels, the Koi Carp beckoned you to flow with abundance, and the Heart assured you that love and affection surround you. Now in career or education, you can lean on your intuitive cup energy to navigate change, trusting that your emotional intelligence is a compass when external circumstances shift. Maybe you'll speak up in a staff meeting or class discussion when you feel inspired, or reach out to a mentor for perspective rather than trying to figure everything out alone. Could you balance speaking your truth with listening deeply, allowing both your heart and mind to guide decisions? In practical terms, here's something to try over the next 2 weeks. Each morning, take 5 minutes before you dive into work or study to center yourself. Close your eyes, picture the koi carp's pond, and ask, what seeds of possibility are waiting for me today? Then jot down one intuitive thought. Maybe it's an action you want to take in a project or a question you'd like answered. At the end of the day, reflect on where you felt the storm spirits at play and how your responsive step moved things forward. Notice where you offered support without losing yourself, and where you held firm boundaries. This simple ritual will help you witness your own unfolding growth. Libra, you have the gift of balance, and early May is an invitation to weave compassion, intuition, and adaptability into your work or learning life. Trust that the chaos is temporary, that your emotional wisdom guides you, and that abundance flows when you stay open yet centered. Which small, intuitive step feels most alive for you right now? Try it, and see how your world begins to shift. I can't wait to hear about the new growth you uncover. Take care, and keep riding those waves with grace. Moving on, let's take a look at the opportunities surrounding your personal and spiritual growth. Your self-care wisdom oracle card is Sovereign, and the tarot card is Two of Wands. The Two of Wands often appears when you're standing at a crossroads, your feet firmly on solid ground, eyes lifted to a horizon full of possibility. In terms of personal growth, this card can signal that you're ready to make a plan for the life you truly want, instead of letting circumstances steer you. Maybe you've been dreaming about writing your own blog, taking up a new hobby, or simply carving out more time for self-care. The wands in your hands represent both your personal drive and your spiritual spark. You have the inner fire that can light the path ahead. Ask yourself, what is the next bold step I've been imagining but haven't yet taken? How might moving a single wand, one small action, set that whole vision into motion? On the spiritual side, the Two of Wands can suggest you're invited to expand your understanding of what's possible. You might be drawn to explore a new meditation style, dive deeper into journaling your dreams, or connect with a spiritual community that aligns with your values. Imagine yourself as an architect of your own inner realm, sketching out the blueprint of beliefs and practices that nurture your soul. Where in your routine could you build space for quiet reflection, prayer, or creative ritual? Notice how that same sense of anticipation you feel when planning a trip can spark excitement about exploring your spiritual landscape. But of course, Libras love balance, and the Four of Pentacles from our general reading reminds you to check that you're not gripping your ideas so tightly you can't actually act on them. If you've been hesitating because you fear making the wrong choice, remember that even a tiny step will teach you something. Your Cups cards taught you that opening your heart and letting creativity flow often shows you the next signpost along the way. So let the energy of the Knight of Cups give you the courage to ask for guidance, maybe from a friend who believes in you or from your own inner voice, and let the Ace of Cups inspire you to pour yourself into a fresh beginning. Questions to ponder. What would happen if you trusted your gut to guide that first draft or that first message to a potential mentor? Where in your life could a little more faith in your own intuition move the needle? Then the Sovereign Oracle whispers one of the simplest but most profound truths. You are the queen of your own life. It's easy to let our own needs slip down the priority list when we're busy caretaking others, chasing deadlines, or wrestling with that inner critic. But treating yourself like royalty means recognizing that your time, attention, and well-being are precious resources. In personal growth, that might look like scheduling a weekly solo date, a morning coffee at your favorite spot, or a walk in the park where you check in with yourself and honor your own desires. In spiritual growth, it could mean dedicating space to tend the garden of your soul, lighting a candle, saying a prayer, or simply closing your eyes and acknowledging your worth. How would your days change if you carved out a small royal ritual, even just 5 minutes, to crown yourself with kindness? The Sovereignty card also asks you to notice where you've been giving away your power, perhaps by letting external voices, old beliefs, critical people, or cultural expectations dictate what you should do next. Instead, embrace the Two of Wands call to stand tall with your own authority. You don't need anyone's permission to explore new territory in your personal or spiritual life. You have the right to set your own course, to change your mind, and to redesign your world whenever you choose. Reflect on a situation where you stayed in your comfort zone simply because you worried about others' opinions. What might bloom if you claimed the throne of your choices and acted from that place of inner sovereignty? Bringing this all together under our May theme, Libra, you're being invited to balance vision with courage, compassion with self-ownership, and flow with intention. Your Cups cards taught you to welcome new feelings and blossom in relationships. Now your Wands card asks you to take that open heart into action. The Koi Carp's abundant current supports you in letting go of old fears, and the Heart tea leaf assures you that love backs every brave move you make. Two of Wands meets Sovereign and says, dream big, plan thoughtfully, then crown your plan with the conviction that you deserve every bit of its success. Here's a little practice for the next 2 weeks. Each morning, take a moment to imagine yourself at that crossroads with 2 wands in hand. In one hand holds a question like, what step can I take today to honor my growth? In the other, hold the answer that bubbles up, however small. Then, speak to yourself like the queen you are, aloud if you can, saying, I choose this path because I own my destiny. Jot down both question and answer in a journal. At day's end, note how that tiny act of sovereignty shaped how you move through the world. Over time, you'll watch your confidence strengthen and your inner kingdom flourish. Libra, you've got everything you need to design this chapter of your life with grace and power. Balance your vision for what could be with the inner knowing that you deserve to claim it. Ride the waves of abundance as the Koi Carp does. Hold your heart open like those cups, and step boldly onto the horizon the Two of Wands has revealed. Treat yourself like royalty, because you are. Which first step feels most aligned for you right now? Go ahead and plant that seed. You're the sovereign architect of your own beautiful destiny. In summary, for the first half of May, I'm getting the sense that you're stepping into a season of opening your heart, tuning into what truly stirs you, and then boldly steering your own ship. It's like standing at the edge of a spring stream that's just beginning to grow in strength. There's sparkle in the current, an invitation to jump in, but also the need to trust yourself to navigate where it carries you. This stretch of days could bring you unexpected moments of warmth and connection, flashes of clarity about what really matters, and even a touch of glorious chaos that shakes loose old patterns so something fresh can bloom. You might find yourself saying yes to a spontaneous coffee date or a new creative project that lights you up. Remember that time you got a message out of the blue from someone you admire and it made your week? That energy is bubbling up again, encouraging you to follow those nudges. Whether it's a friendly invitation, a new course you've been eyeing, or an idea you've kept tucked away in your journal. What would happen if you trusted that urge and ventured forward, even in a small way? At the same time, there's a beautiful reminder to pause and reflect. Picture yourself beside a calm pond, watching ripples form and fade. This is your chance to see where you're clutching too tightly, whether it's money, old habits, or relationships that once felt safe, but now feel more like weight. Think back to when you realized you were holding on to something out of fear, and how good it felt to finally loosen your grip. Where in your life might you let go just a little so new opportunities can swim in? Love and affection are flowing through this entire period. You could feel a gentle wave of warmth from a partner or friend, or discover a deeper well of self-compassion. Maybe someone surprises you with a thoughtful gesture, or you catch yourself smiling at your reflection because you realize you deserve kindness too. Have you noticed moments when a small act of love, like a text check-in or a handwritten note, made you feel seen? What if you offered that kind of caring to yourself as well? Work and study life might stir up some divine turbulence too. You could face sudden changes, a new assignment, a team shakeup, a shift in curriculum that feel unsettling at first. But think of how fresh the air smells after a spring storm. Those challenges bring valuable information and clear away what's no longer necessary. Have you ever noticed the clarity that comes after pushing through a confusing project or adapting to a new schedule? Let this period be your laboratory for growth. Observe what's changing, gather the insights, and watch how new possibilities begin to sprout. Throughout all of this, your own intuition is your compass. You've got a natural gift for reading the room and sensing what's unspoken. Maybe you've guided a friend through a tough spot just by knowing when to ask the right question, or cracked a tricky study question by sitting quietly until the answer surfaced. How could you lean into that inner wisdom even more? Perhaps by starting each morning with a quick journaling prompt, or asking yourself, what feels true for me today? And don't forget that you're the sovereign of your own world. You deserve to treat yourself like royalty, carving out space for your ideas and honoring your own needs. Imagine scheduling a weekly solo date, maybe a hike, a museum visit, or even a long bath with your favorite music, where you celebrate your own company. Where might you crown yourself with a small act of self-kindness, simply because you're worth it? Finally, anchor yourself in the affirmation, I am in control of my thoughts and actions. This simple mantra reminds you that even when the current pulls you into unexpected places, you hold the power to decide how you respond. Think back to a moment when you shifted a negative thought or chose a calm breath instead of a snap reaction. Remember how that choice changed the tone of your day? Imagine now the next couple weeks like a blank canvas. You can splash it with the bright colors of new connections, sketch in the lines of honest conversations, add layers of reflection and self-care, and finish with bold strokes of planning and personal power. You may encounter sudden gusts of change or moments when you feel torn between excitement and caution, but every twist and turn carries a gift, an insight, a deeper bond, a seed of inspiration. I feel so energized for you, Libra. The way you balance open-heartedness with thoughtful action is your superpower, and I sense you're ready to make this chapter one of your most radiant yet. You'll ride the waves of excitement without losing your center, welcome fresh ideas without fearing the unknown, and stand tall as the queen of your own life. This first half of May holds the promise of real breakthroughs, simple joys, and a deepened trust in yourself. Embrace it all with confidence and grace. You've got this. Did this reading give you clarity? If so, please like and subscribe.